y'all, it's Alirien, and I am incredibly excited to announce that for the third year in a row, I am going to be part of the Baton Rouge Maker Faire. I will actually be in the beginning stages of working on a new costume at my booth, and Mighty Mouse Minis will be back as well with all of his model painting. So come and say hey to the both of us, as well as all of the fabulous makers and exhibitors at the greatest show and tell on earth. Come see the Baton Rouge Maker Faire, which is an entirely free event at the Goodwood Blvd on Saturday, the 18th of October from 10 to 4. For more information, check the description or visit batonrouge.makerfaire.com. See y'all soon, adventurers! Mwah! Keep aiming loves. Roxy! Are you gonna read the tarot? Oh, hi, Womble. It's Alirien, and welcome to our horoscope tarot readings for the season of Mabon, or the autumn equinox, for 2025. As always, we are following our usual format where we are going to be reading 3 cards plus the bottom card of the deck from a Waite Smith style tarot, in this case the Beautiful Creatures Tarot by J.R. Rivera and Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and 1 card from an oracular deck, in this case the Psychic Tarot by John Holland. The autumn equinox is a time of balancing and transitioning from the last vestiges of summer into autumn proper. It is the start of autumn, of fall. It is the second harvest season, all of the later blooming crops, and so it's when we really start to examine everything we've accomplished and what there may be left to do before we prepare for the final steps into winter. So let us see what the cards have to say. Now, as today, the equinox is the final day of Virgo season, we are actually going to start with Virgo, and we will end off with Leo today. So get cozy, get your favorite drink, be open-hearted and open-minded. Remember to take what resonates. The best reading for you may not necessarily be that for your sun sign. You can find the time codes for all of the signs in the description and along the progress bar at the bottom of the video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and shuffle and get started with our readings for Virgo. If you hear a chewing or a scraping sound, Bramble's kennel is right behind the camera, and she is in there chewing on one of her toys right now, so I apologize for some of the ambient noise. This was the best lighting I could find today. I'm really having to experiment with where I set up to film my videos right now, so bear with me. Virgo, you have pulled 6 cards actually for your reading for this season. 4 of them jumped out at once, so we're gonna roll with it. This happens, we move on. Your bottom card is the inverted 6 of Swords. You have the Temperance inverted, the Queen of Cups upright, the 2 of Pentacles upright, the Star upright, the World in reverse, and the King of Wands in reverse. Your oracle card is the Solar Plexus chakra. Virgo is really feeling like they're struggling to get through everything one bit at a time. Your upright cards are a point of positivity. The 2 of Pentacles is a card of balance and flexibility, adaptability. The Star is a card of hope. You have not lost sight of your goal and what needs to be done. You're just feeling kind of overwhelmed. You also have the Queen of Cups upright, who is intuitive and compassionate. You're staying in tune with your emotions and not letting them overtake you too much. You're in touch with your intuition and you're being compassionate to yourself and others as you need to. You are taking your time. The 2 of Pentacles upright and the inverted Temperance are showing a bit of a struggle to actually maintain that balance. Temperance is a card of balance and moderation. So if it is inverted, that means that something has fallen into excess or into lack. You're trying to adapt and keep tabs on everything, but it's not completely working. The World inverted says that there's some sort of unfinished business lingering in your head. You are very close to completing something, to being done, with some aspect of your journey, but there's something left unfinished and it's nagging at you. And I think that is perhaps what you're not sure what to do about. You don't know if you should turn and address it head on and get it over with, potentially leaving other things to the wayside and things falling further out of balance, or if you should ignore it and take care of other things that you feel may be more pressing, but then that lingers even longer and continues to create the cloud over everything. And the inverted King of Wands. The King of Wands is the card of leadership, of being able to take the reins and drive the carriage regardless of what anybody else says, and potentially with the respect of others, to be able to get to the bigger picture goal that everybody's supposed to be working toward. So again, inverted, there is delay, there is obstacle, there is perhaps doubt of your abilities. You perhaps are failing to remember the big picture. You're too focused on the trees and not seeing the forest, or you're just so fired up and focused on getting to your goal that perhaps some of those details are being lost. Maybe you're too wrapped up in the big picture and not seeing the details. There's a disconnect. Virgo typically is very detail oriented, so I'm wondering perhaps if you're getting too lost in the details, and that in turn is causing you to kind of lose a bit of sight of what you're doing and why. You still have hope and determination to get to the goal, but you've perhaps lost sight of what the whole purpose is. The inverted Six of Swords. Six of Swords usually is a card of detachment, of walking away from something that no longer serves you. And I believe that the Six of Swords being inverted means that you haven't quite pulled completely away from whatever you were moving away from. There's something in there's either a behavior that you've realized is no longer appropriate for you at this stage in your life. There's a habit. There's something going on internally in your head, something mentally that you need to let go of. There's something that has been perhaps mentally a bit of a crutch and a bit of a comfort fallback that you need to move away from, and you recognize this, but you've been so overwhelmed that you haven't quite let yourself pull away from it entirely, and now it is starting to be in the way of being able to get everything done. And I think you know this, but you're just not quite doing it. The solar plexus chakra suggests that perhaps it is to do with your confidence. Because you are overwhelmed and you're starting to struggle to keep everything balanced and really keep everything from muddling together into one big pile and completely overwhelming you, you're struggling with your confidence to actually get to the end. It's there. You are, as I said, hopeful and determined, but you need to sit down and truly get yourself to fully believe in your capability again. The solar plexus, which is right around here, right at your diaphragm, is the center of your willpower, your self-esteem, your confidence. And when this falls out of balance, it's when we doubt. It's when we lose the will and the motivation to move forward, because what's the point? Affirm for yourself. I can. I will. Do something that gets you moving. Yoga, dance, running. Do it frequently. Do it consistently. And consider increasing the amount of yellow, whatever shade or tint of it you prefer. Yellow is the color for this. More yellow, more movement. Because as you start moving, you will build up enough momentum to start believing more wholeheartedly in everything you can do. And that will help everything feel a little bit easier. And you may in time find that you truly not only no longer need whatever this is you need to walk away from, that is the Six of Swords, but that you don't even consider turning toward it anymore. Cut this off. Find your balance and your confidence. I don't think it's a mistake that the solar plexus is yellow and there are sunflowers on the King of Wands. You need to find your confidence to lead at least yourself back onto the easier and successful path. Find your confidence and keep everything in moderation. Libra, you have drawn also 6 cards, much like Virgo. Again, we're gonna roll with it. You have as the bottom card of the deck the 10 of Cups. Everything else is inverted. Page of Swords, the King of Wands, the King of Swords, the Fool, the World, the 10 of Pentacles. I'm surprised. The 10 of Cups upright says that emotionally and relationship-wise, you're content. You're set. You've got great friendships. Your love life goes well. Your family's all content, which is good, because in terms of what else is going on, it seems like there is significant obstacle or delay. The Page and King of Swords inverted suggest a mental block of some kind, perhaps thinking too logically or not logically enough about scenarios, issues. Following from that, perhaps letting your words get away from you. Needing to remember that however you intend your words to sound, often they come across incorrectly to other people. And while you should never have to go out of your way to constantly make other people more comfortable with what you say, you should make it clear to people you mean no harm. And there is a balance to be struck, I think, between saying something, not saying something, being kind and being honest. You can be honest and be kind and still be being direct enough that someone gets the point. The King of Wands. Wands are action, they're fire, their creativity, their spirit. King of Wands is a card of leadership. Again, there's perhaps some doubt of being able to take control and be the leader you need to be. The inverted Fool is either afraid to take the next steps or is about to take them too is about to take them too haphazardly. There are consequences that need to be realized to any and all actions and words. And while those consequences shouldn't necessarily stop you, you need to be aware of them. While you're aware of them, don't let them stop you. The inverted world, as with Virgo, says something is left unfinished. There's a loose thread that, if it's not already lingering in the back of your mind, could start to cause some issues. The Ten of Pentacles is a card of legacy, financial and career stability. And again, inverted says that there is some sort of obstacle to this. There's a significant delay to it. Now, some of this appears to be internal. You could just not quite be in the right mindset right now to be ready for the 10, the world, and the next journey that is the Fool to all come to fruition. Because that is something I have noticed. You have two 10s, which typically are the end of a journey, but one of them is inverted, so you're very close to completing something. The world, similarly, it's a card of completion. It is the final card of the major arcana. You are so close to ending one path and finding the beginning of the next, which the Fool very directly represents the beginning of the next path. You've got this ending and this next beginning in your sights, but something is halting you. Mentally and spiritually, you are not ready for some reason. It could be that you are wary of whatever new responsibility will be placed on your shoulders. Not even placed on your shoulders, that you will be putting on your own shoulders if you step forward. This could be your own doubt that is preventing things. It could be the words or behaviors of others causing you to doubt if it is worth it. But with how close you've come, to walk away now and never finish would be a tragedy. I'm wondering if perhaps it is not any words toward others. It is perhaps words and thoughts toward yourself that are getting in the way. Do not be so doubtful of your capability and your strength, not physical strength, but mental and spiritual resolve to accomplish what not only needs to be accomplished, but that you want to do on top of that. You've already accomplished really, really great things, and you have so much more that you are on the precipice of. You need only take the deep breath and take the step. Any decision you make at this point still serves the purpose of getting you to your goal, regardless of which way you go. Your oracle card is Solitude, and it suggests a need for some introspection. You perhaps need time to sit with yourself and ask why you have doubts. Are these doubts founded? Is it something that happened before? Did I fail in a similar situation before, and that's what has me thinking I'll fail again? Have I simply been convinced by others that I would never accomplish it? Do I need others to truly tell me that I am capable in order to believe it? Or is my own self-belief enough? Take some time alone. Engage in solitude in whatever spiritual practice you prefer. In practices that engage your mind and turn your focus to more positive things. Focus on all of the good reasons. Not only why you started this goal, but all of the good reasons to complete it and move on to the next path. You know that you can do it, and I believe that you will. The second you fully accept that you can and you will, I can and I will become I must, and that will become I did, and you will be so much prouder for it. One thing I forgot to mention for Libra, look into the meaning of the number 1, the number 0, 10s as well, naturally, but any iteration of 1, 0, or 10, and pay attention when these numbers come up, especially repeated. It could be significant. You had several iterations of 1 or 0 on your cards. Scorpio, you have pulled the inverted Queen of Swords, the upright 10 of Swords, the upright Knight of Swords, the inverted 10 of Pentacles, the inverted Hanging One, and your oracle card is accelerated motion. I think your thoughts are a little jumbled here, Scorpio. You have the inverted Queen of Swords, a card of fairness, which inverted tells me that you're perhaps not being fair enough to yourself mentally. The 10 of Swords upright is a card of finality, which says that you're coming to the end of whatever you're dealing with, and the 10 of Pentacles and the accelerated motion cards both confirm this in some respect, but the 10 of Swords is a card of rock bottom. I think mentally you're feeling very, very low, and perhaps it's because you've been too long on this string of self-doubt, and it's time to kind of come back up from that. One of the good things about the 10 of Swords is once you hit it, there's only up from there. You can't get any lower, so at least that's something. And again, it is a 10, it is an end. It signifies that there is something new beyond it. So what's it gonna be? What is the path beyond this moment going to look like for you? What do you want it to look like? Because you can choose. The Knight of Swords is idealism. And it tells me that in spite of how you've been feeling, you have stuck to your ideals, to your morals, to your ethics, to what you firmly believe in your heart is the way that you should carry yourself through the world. The inverted 10 of Pentacles, a card of legacy and stability and security in job and finances, again says that you're very close to coming to the end of whatever you've been dealing with, but there's some sort of obstacle or delay. You're very close to achieving some well-needed security and stability. But I think what's in the way is this mental state. You're level-headed, but when you fall out of that balance, you seem to turn the negative thoughts inward. And it's now time to pick yourself up and move out of that. Recognize that in spite of everything you have felt, you've never once wavered in what you believe. And that is a very positive thing. You can use that to turn things around in your head. And that's exactly what's called for with the inverted Hanging One. The Hanging One or Hanged Man is a card of perspective and perception. And the whole point of it, especially inverted, says that you need to shift your focus. You need to reframe how you are looking, in this case, at yourself and what you are capable of doing. Because you are very close to achieving something very good for yourself. You just need the right mindset for it. Accelerated motion indicates that the obstacles and delays that you have been struggling with are starting to shift. They are starting to fall away and your momentum is building. Use that to help shift your perspective to a more positive one and keep hold of your ideals, and you will achieve what is very much coming into full view now. Sagittarius, you have drawn for Mabon the 8 of Wands in reverse, the Empress reversed, the Star in reverse, the 6 of Swords upright, and your oracle is Passion ignited. You, like most of the previous readings, Sagittarius, are on the brink of something positive, a new beginning of some kind, and you're very, very excited about it. However, it seems like it's being clouded by something else going on in your life currently. The 8 of Wands is normally a card of rapid movement, of progress. It's a card of messages as well. Inverted, it tells me that what should be a fast-moving time has been significantly slowed. The messages are fuzzy. They're not getting through. The Empress, inverted, is a card of it hints at dependency, something smothering you. You smothering someone else, perhaps, but I think it's the former. The inverted Star, normally a card of hope, and inverted is hopelessness. You're struggling to keep the light in sight. 6 of Swords seems to be the answer here. As with Virgo, it is a card of detachment, of moving on. For you, it is upright. I think you know what you need to move on from. I think you know that it is the next step before this beginning can truly take hold. I think you know that it is the answer. You need only seize that and do your damnedest not to look back. However comfortable you are, however comfortable continuing to have whatever this is in your life makes you, now it is starting to hold you back. To whatever this is, you need to walk away from something. It will take significant mental fortitude, but all of this will be made right, and this entirely yours for the taking if you simply let go. It's quite literally the one card between the out of balance, the obstacles, the delays, and something bright and new and passionate let go, so you can find your hope again, so you can feel the weight slough off, so that the messages will be clearer. Let go. Capricorn, you have drawn for the equinox the Magician, the inverted Sun, the King of Swords, the inverted Ace of Pentacles, and Triumphant Success as your oracle. Mentally, Capricorn is in a good spot. The King of Swords is a card of logic, of having mastered the balance between looking at things with mental intellect and looking at things from the emotions of the heart. Trusting both your intuition and what others offer as suggestions or advice on the matter. Finding a balance and a compromise between all of these things is incredibly difficult, and for you to have found a balance in navigating it is commendable. Triumphant Success, being akin to the Ace of Swords, says that renewed mental clarity is right there in front of you. It is coming to you if it hasn't already occurred, which is a positive thing since the Sun is a card of clarity, and inverted says that your outlook has perhaps been a bit muddled lately. You've maybe struggled to keep the most positive outlook on everything, and the spread is reassuring you that you definitely have the strength of mind to navigate everything. What perhaps is weighing on you is that things are taking longer than you anticipated. I think you always knew that things might take longer than you wanted. I think everyone has to come to terms with that at some point in their life. But now you're reaching a point where it's like, come on, how much longer is it actually gonna be? Like, I get it wasn't gonna be overnight, but this is a little much, isn't it? And you're being reminded that these things coming to you are not in doubt, except to yourself. The Ace of Pentacles is new abundance, it's new prosperity, something new perhaps happening in your work life, and it is in front of you, it is coming to you, but it is delayed. Determined and ambitious and hardworking as we Capricorns tend to be, even our patience can run thin at times. If you keep your eyes on the prize and keep hold of that determination, keep your mind clear, keep your emotions and your balance and your logic balanced, you will achieve it, however long it takes. And we often know better than many others that true abundance and true stability, true success will take a long time, but it is that which is harder earned that is better earned. I forget what the exact quote is, but you get my point. Nothing worth having was gotten for free. And often, the free doesn't indicate money, it indicates time. What you are working toward will be worth the wait, and you know this. So tired and impatient as you may be feeling at times, it is still coming to you. Try not to linger on how long it's taking. Keep hold of the knowledge that you are fully capable of getting there. You have everything you need in terms of skill, in terms of talent, in terms of resources. You need only know how to wield it. Keep hold of your ideals, keep true to who you are, and just focus on continuing to work toward the goal. Try to let yourself forget how long the goal is taking. Aquarius has pulled the Justice inverted, the Queen of Cups in reverse, Page of Cups reversed, the Seven of Swords upright, Four of Swords reversed. And your oracle cards are discontent and boredom and firm foundation. First off, Aquarius, I would suggest looking into the meaning of the number 4, as it has turned up exactly 3 times in your reading here. Both of the oracle cards are the 4th within their suit, and you have the Four of Swords as well. You are going through, I think, some issues balancing what your head is saying and what your heart is saying, because you have 2 inverted Cups cards, Cups being emotions and relationships. You have 2 Swords cards being the mind, the intellect, logic, and both are telling me that ultimately you need, I think, a break. You're discontent about something, you are bored with your surroundings, and you are just tired. But you're not letting yourself truly rest, because you are restless, because you are eager to solve everything, but you can't solve everything if you're too tired to do anything right. Taking care of our physical bodies is our primary concern, because if we don't take care of our physical bodies, it starts to take a heavier toll on us emotionally and mentally. The vice versa is also true, but in this case, I think that physically, you need to take better care of yourself. And the more level emotional state, being better able to follow your intuition from the Queen of Cups, being able to be a bit more creative and think outside the box with the Page of Cups, will follow. I think as well that you will feel some very, very real change, and this threat of the Seven of Swords that your mind has told you exists may turn out not to be as much of a threat at all. But we do have the inverted justice. I think there is some sort of injustice or unresolved issue, like some of the other readings, that is weighing on you. And I think it's a very big picture issue. I think this might not be something personal, but you are perhaps taking it personally. And however this resolves itself, you are perhaps taking more personally than you should, and I think it's part of why all of this is weighing on you. You perhaps, like many these days, are being too wrapped up in the 24/7 news cycle. You're constantly being bombarded with news on TV, on the radio, on social media, and none of us were designed to be able to handle absorbing real-world nonsense every single second of every minute of every hour of every day. We can barely handle it once a week. I would urge you to take time to put away all of the technology at least once a day for at least an hour, and let yourself do something that doesn't involve the outside world and that's just for you and just relaxing. And if that's not quite enough, then I would challenge you to pick a week or maybe even a month, if you feel up to it, to log out of all of your social media and turn off the news just for that span of time, and just focus on your day to day and focus on taking care of you for that span of time. I promise you will feel so much better by the end of that. And hopefully by the end of it, you will much less feel the urge to constantly pick up the phone and scroll Facebook, and you'll hopefully feel lighter of head and lighter of heart and a bit more balanced. Pisces, you have pulled for the equinox the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Emperor upright, the Nine of Swords upright, the Transformation in reverse, and your oracle card is the Waiting Game. I think Pisces is going through a transitional period right now, as indicated by both death and the Waiting Game appearing together. I think you are having to remember to let go of certain things and have faith in the things that you can't control working out the best they can for you right now. You're having to let the things that are out of your hands be out of your hands. And that can be difficult to wrestle with. You do have Nine of Swords in the middle here, which is a card of anxiety and worry. It's not so horrendous. If it were inverted, I would be worried, because it would mean that you're losing sleep at night and you're absolutely just in total despair. But when upright, it is still anxiety, it is still worry, it is still weighing on you, but it's not. It's kind of just this constant presence that you're aware of, but you're not letting it get to you fully. You are perhaps it is perhaps starting to take its toll, because transformation is inverted. The transformation is this deck's version of death. Death normally indicates changes, transitions, transformations. So when inverted, it indicates that whatever change or transition is being delayed. And typically this is because of our own actions or inactions, something going on with ourselves. We are delaying the transition for whatever reason. And I think this anxiety is what's playing into it. While there are things that are out of your hands, and you need to accept that and focus on what you can control, I think there are aspects you can control that have been forgotten. I think there are things that you can still do at this time to improve things, or to get your mind off things and not have this anxiety pressing so close. And I think perhaps you need to find what those things are that you can still affect change in, to help speed this along, and also to help with this inverted Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a card of empathy, and when inverted, it seems perhaps like maybe you're trying to forget about the world around you right now. You're kind of dreamy-headed and being unrealistic about things. Either you are trying to come up with too many contingencies for if what you're currently working on doesn't go the way that you hope or plan it to go, or you're assuming it's going to go the way that you expect, and so you're thinking too far ahead and losing sight of what's right in front of you. Waiting and being patient is always going to be a struggle, especially if you've worked so hard for so long to get to a point. Sometimes you get so wrapped up in that you kind of get struck with a well now what situation. And while that can be uncomfortable in the idea of moving forward into some unknown territory that you've not even begun to perceive, can be risky and can be worrying. It is something we often need to do. You do have the Emperor though. The Emperor is a card of sovereignty, of power and authority. And so long as you compose yourself and move through these next steps, embodying the full strength and resolve and confidence in your skills, in your ability to take on any new required skills, in yourself wholly to achieve what's in front of you and keep achieving each thing that gets put in front of you, you will find that this transition that you are worried about and all of the unknowns beyond it won't be so bad after all. You are as powerful as you need to be at this moment. And when you need to be more powerful, you will find the way to learn what you need to be better and be ready at that time. That's the last bit from the waiting game. Everything will come in its time. So don't worry about everything you don't know about. Focus on what you can control and stay confident in your ability to control it. Aries, you have drawn the inverted Seven of Wands, the inverted One of Cups, the inverted Knight of Cups, the upright Ten of Wands, the upright Eight of Swords, and your oracle card is Obstacles and Challenges. You, my love, quite plainly are being faced with obstacles and challenges and delays, so much so that you feel incredibly stuck in your current situation. The good news is that some of this feeling stuck is in your own head. There is a way out that you perhaps haven't seen yet, and once you do see it and you take hold of it, you will find your way back out. The inverted Seven of Wands, being a card of bravery, tells me that your courage is faltering a little. Your fear is kind of winning a bit. You are perhaps afraid that you won't be able to overcome these obstacles and these challenges that you face, and that you won't be able to achieve the goal that you are striving for at this time. The Ace of Cups, being a card of new love, new relationship, renewed joyous emotion, tells me that it's still there for you in your very near future. It's just taking a little longer to get to you. It's still coming. Just gotta wait a little longer. The inverted Knight of Cups, as with Pisces, warns that you may be being a bit unrealistic right now. You are perhaps so concerned with these obstacles that you're starting to despair and worry that, as I said, you'll never get past them. Or you're trying to come up with all these harebrained schemes to get around them when the answer is actually probably quite simple. And because you're overthinking it, you're just not seeing it. The Ten of Wands, like with the Obstacles and Challenges card, does indicate the hardship you've been faced with. Often the Ten of Wands pops up when we've taken on too much of the burden and the responsibility ourselves. Perhaps the answer is simply to look around and ask someone we trust to help with some of the load. Or if we know no one we can trust, to find a new someone to ask for help. We cannot face everything in our lives on our own. There's a reason human beings are social creatures by necessity. The Eight of Swords is what tells me the answer is right in front of you. You need only see it. And based on everything I'm seeing, I think perhaps whatever has led you to this point, you've been convinced that you need to prove something by doing it alone. It's time to face the fact that you aren't meant to do this by yourself, and it is okay to ask for help. Often it is one of the bravest things we can do, to look at another person and allow ourselves to be vulnerable long enough to say, can you help me? Thus, you need to find that someone you can ask. Let them share some of the load. Delegate tasks if you are the leader of whatever this project is. However it happens, you need to ask others for help. Allow yourself to trust them. Build their trust for you. That could be the new relationship that's waiting to blossom. You could make some very fine friends and a much stronger network of capable individuals if you simply turn to someone and share the load. Taurus, you have pulled the inverted Hanging One, the inverted Magician, the reversed Ten of Swords, the Sun. Your oracle cards are Destiny and Hope. There are two sides to a coin here for you, Taurus. The first is where you stand, the second is where you're going. The inverted Hanging One shows me that you've gotten a little topsy-turvy in your perspective of things, and it's led you to doubt yourself. It's led you to dismay, been very, very worried and probably feeling very stuck, kind of like Aries and Pisces. The inverted magician is self-doubt. The inverted 10 of swords is that stuck feeling, that rock bottom, the absolute rock bottom since it is inverted. The good news is the only way to go from here is up. You just need to shift your perspective and remember that you are fully capable of achieving everything you've set out to do. As you stand currently, you have all of the skills you need to get where you're going. The talent, the resolve, you do have it within you. The sun is a card of clarity, of pure happiness and light. Destiny is like the Wheel of Fortune and says that fate is turning in your favor. Hope is what it sounds like. It's the star. It's hope. It's renewed belief that things will work out. You just need to change your perspective a little and remember that you are fully capable. Look at everything you've already accomplished. Look how far you've already come. Don't compare yourself to everybody around you. This is your story. You're the one writing it. You decide what happens next. And I think what happens next is you setting aside the doubt, setting aside anyone who may have burned you, and moving forward in spite of all of that. Finding the good and finding the joy and finding the way forward. Things will turn in your favor. Gemini, you have drawn the upright One of Wands, the upright Page of Cups, the inverted King of Wands, the Wheel inverted, and your oracle card is Disruption. You are poised for good things currently, Gemini. I think there is a situation coming to you that how you handle it is going to determine how well this goes. The One of Wands, being the Ace of Wands, shows me a renewed passion and fire and spirit within you. Perhaps you are embarking on a new project and you're very excited about it and you're very open-minded and very positive and optimistic about it. You are not letting your expectations be too rigid. You're prepared to think outside the box and go with the flow and adapt to whatever happens for the sake of achieving this goal, however it needs to be achieved, which is good. I think there is concern with the inverted King of Wands that you could perhaps be too detail-oriented or not detail-oriented enough as you proceed with this. King of Wands is a card of leadership and of being able to balance concern for the details, concern for the whole, in order to make the best decisions to move forward toward whatever your preferred outcome. So make sure that you aren't losing sight of one in favor of the other as you move forward, because the inverted wheel does say that there are things out of your control that may not go as you want or need or plan. Disruption further confirms that something entirely out of your control is going to affect this. How well you navigate that and pick up and keep moving forward following this is going to say the world of you. Keep to this inventiveness, this adaptability of the Page of Cups. Keep your wits about you, because I think if you hold on to this energy and this adaptability and optimism that you're currently feeling, whatever challenges this issue may bring will not cause so large a detour as they have the potential to do. Keep cool and keep going. Cancer, you have drawn the Moon upright, the Six of Pentacles upright, the Four of Swords upright, and the Hanging One upright. Your oracle cards are Spiritual Strength and Wisdom. I think you're in a very good state of mind for being able to deal with what lies ahead for you. Spiritual Strength and Six of Pentacles both indicate this. You are physically, financially, spiritually doing well. You have the resources to be able to be generous to others, and others are perhaps being generous in turn to you, and it's feeding this cycle of positivity and helping one another. Four of Swords does suggest that you do need some rest. Don't overwork yourself. Make sure you're taking breaks and taking time for yourself, for your mental health, because the Moon suggests that there is some sort of issue or situation that is coming to light right now that you may actually already be aware of and may have just been trying to not pay attention to for a little bit, but it seems that you perhaps are not going to be able to choose to ignore it any longer. You're going to have to hear this message. You're going to have to be wholly aware of this situation, of this secret, whatever it is, this new truth. And you're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to be mindful of your perspective on it as well. Make sure that you are carefully discerning truth and illusion from one another as you navigate and deal with this new information. Particularly, be careful not to let the thoughts and opinions and suggestions of others steer you away from what you know to be truth. That is where the spiritual strength also comes in. You are strong, you are resolute, you are resilient, and I think you are capable of the wisdom to navigate between the truth and the false as this information comes to you. The wisdom card either says that you will need to help others and guide others to that same truth, or there is someone who will be able to serve as a teacher or a guide to you. Whichever the case is, you are well poised for navigating this, as I said. Be aware and open to receiving this information, uncomfortable as it may be. Furthermore, have faith in yourself to be able to navigate it. Because if you stay true to your beliefs and you let yourself take your time and you avoid becoming bitter or too distrusting of the world around you, I think you'll get through this okay. Finally, we have Leo, who has drawn for Mabon the inverted One of Swords, the Decadence in reverse, the Paranormal, Queen of Wands, and your oracle card is Light. The inverted One or Ace of Swords is a card of intellect and renewed mental clarity, sharpness of wit. When inverted, tells me there's an obstacle or a delay to finding this renewed clarity and this renewing of your mind. Part of this obstacle is the Decadence inverted. The Decadence is this deck's version of the devil, which represents obsession. And often it's a vice. It's an addiction. It's a dependency. When it's inverted, it does signify that you've likely come to terms with realizing that you've gone too far down this rabbit hole and it's time to find the way back out. And you are ready to make the moves to get out of it, which is good. You've recognized the obstacle that lies in front of you. And as you work through this, paranormal suggests that there is some sort of, I'll say, ethereal connection trying to form for you. There is something beyond that wants to help and wants to help you solve this so that you can move forward, so that you can be renewed, so that you can be sharper and cleaner and clearer, so that you can move forward better able to seek whatever goals you have in mind. By being open-minded and listening and trusting what you receive from beyond, while remembering not to step on anyone's toes. It's not up to anyone else to believe what you believe. And you don't have to believe what others do. You merely need to respect that others are entitled to believe differently from you, just as you are entitled to believe differently from them. But be open-minded for this message, this connection. Between that and the Queen of Wands, your determination, your passion, your fire. You're Leo, you're the sun, you're fiery. These are going to help you navigate out of this, as I keep calling it, rabbit hole. Your oracle is the light. It's where you're going. This is where you are, this is where you're going. This is all a story with a happy ending. Follow these guides. These are your guides away from this obsession to be able to turn the ace upright again. And there we have our 12 horoscope readings for the season of Mabon, or the autumn equinox, with 2025. I do hope that you have found whatever guidance you felt you needed in at least one of the readings herein. And I hope whatever you harvest this season brings you all of the best you ever hoped for. And I will have more readings for you at Samhain at the end of October. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know where all of the buttons and the links are to show me that love. But if nothing else, I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. If you would like to see more content like this video specifically, I have my divination playlist linked in the cards and in the description below, where you can also find my Linktree portal where you can keep up with my adventures on other social media planes. As always, I would like to give a huge special thanks to my covens of patrons and Twitch subs who continue to be my biggest supporters. And if you, dear viewers, would like to join either of those ranks, again, check that Linktree for my Patreon, which begins at $1 per month, or my Twitch channel, where Tier 1 subs begin at $5.99 per month, or Twitch Prime members get 1 free sub a month. Thanks again. Stay tuned for more Breath of the Wild VODs, as well as, at some point when I'm able to get it done, the last few pieces for Sybil Rochester, and I shall speak to you all again very soon. Keep aiming, my loves, and blessed Mabon.
Thank you for that.